What's up, Feral Pigman? 300 is that it?
Proper
Please,
story's
Feral,
supposed to
how
start
many
at the
hours have you
beginning.
put into Bastion?
Ain't
Go
so
ahead,
simple
tell
with
me.
this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go.
That's
in
what we're
case of
trying,
trouble.
FFG.
Ground
That
forms
is
up
what we're
under his
trying.
feet as it pointing the way. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. In the calamity, that a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Sometimes you just need a drink. Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber. A school of squirts tunnels up around him. Must have fled here from the mines.
What am I doing, dude? 92, Feral, please.
He sets foot inside one of Zealandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him for his drinking did. Then kid finds his trusty shield. The security takes him for a petty thief. Special delivery. Gas fellas. Windbags start turning up for last call.
That was bad. This intro is bad.
More squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid.
And we still got 143. Literally what? This game makes
a good look at things
literally
on his
all
way
the
down.
sense. Literally. I'm gonna say literally a
He
few more
lands on top
times.
of
You
a
will be
breaker's
literally
bowl,
tired of hearing
and
me
it
say
ain't broke.
literally before too long.
Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. Right back at you, he finds the distillery, right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job. Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins. An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now. Kid takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did. He finds the core to the wharf district. Well, down he goes. Down toward the Bastion. Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again. Growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid ponders what to build. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? And there it is. But it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. Almost like he's showboating for the crowd. And now there's a new marshal in town. He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall. He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hums in his pack. The monument's calling for it. Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply. Where whiskey has no scent, but tastes like a peppered boot heel. It's not for everyone. In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt. Of all the plans to survive the calamity, it had to be stabweeds. He throws a switch. Now what could possibly go wrong? Some of the stuff lying around is downright dangerous, quite a bit. As it turns out, the cage starts lifting from the core ever so slow. All Kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in. Not every squirt's born bad. Some spring to the Kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take a little while. Scumbags don't take kindly to interlopers. Even some gas fellas take his corner. Heard he popped that mean old foreman. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 30, hard to tell. Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. It's a troublesome scene, to be sure. A few moments left, and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge. I still remember the look on his face after that one. The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started. Couples used to walk the sundown path. Kid ain't here for pleasure, though. Somebody gets to the core before the kid. Floor starts giving way under the lightest step. A single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. Security is all fired up. See, the path was intended for leisurely strolling and such. One of them bridges whips the kid along. Air travel always was an iffy proposition. The calamity changed everything, even where the wind blows. Well, if we mastered the winds in the old days, we can do it again. Who else could have taken the core? Scumbag ate it by mistake. Tough break. Unlike the kid, that core ain't coming back. No, they used to ship live munitions down the path. Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. In all this toil, Kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the calamity? So he didn't find the core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. The dead welcome him with open arms. The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. It was someone like him. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all. The Thunder brothers didn't make it. But him, he survived. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? What do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other for the first time. The cores, they remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be alright. Well, look what we have here. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. There's only one way into Cinderbrick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. The calamity was mercy for normal folks. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Something the windbags just can't handle. Something that'll punch clean through their greasy hides. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Can't blame them for wanting it, though. Kid's stash of grenades is there for him if things get even worse. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. They trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zolf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Seems the only thing the calamity saved for Zolf was his smoking pipe. Zolf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now. And the orchard core is long gone too. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. Pith makes a decent scarecrow at least. Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. Popping windbags is hard enough. No need to get the gods involved. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. The Langston River flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all up. Maybe all that water just grew wings and flew off. Riverbanks swarming with windbags. They're so bent on finding the core, they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat. She sends some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. The security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with. They try to cut her off. They try to slow her down. They try to knock her out. Well, Weepin' Nellie tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors. At least she picked a good spot for a break, 'cause the core's right there. Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. They had their own eyes on the core, but why? He finds Weepin' Nellie raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough. Crafty things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these. Security skiffs keep on coming starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something. The windbags get an even better idea. They aim to smash Weepin' Nellie to splinters. Well, it all proves too much for poor Nellie. She's just gotta make one last stop. With her last breath, Nellie gets the kid to solid ground. Solid ground in picker country. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoos them off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the barge back there? 8 whole times. Now, listen close. You should remember this. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it? There the kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? Yeah, that's the one. Well, no point explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides, it's like the song goes, they'll be here before too long. We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow or again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. We tracked the final core beyond the city to the wilds. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. Kid learns the hard way not to touch those things. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kid so soon. They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. Then Kid gets the feeling he's being watched. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot. Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The Calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here. Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health. After Zolf's little episode, Kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine. Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating. Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know. Wherever he is, somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go. The dead welcome him with open arms. Kid pops him good. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. I'm Zolf of the Ura. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, vine apples, swamp weeds, ankle gators. Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylondia's famous watering holes. He's a petty thief. Kid succeeds where the Calamity failed. Would you look at what he did to poor old Rondi the bartender? Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky. He wakes up. I'm just fooling. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend. He's come undone too. He sees what's left undone. Thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole. Ever heard of a lung blossom? The breath on that thing. Like a scumbag sprung a leak. Kid ain't about to be playing food just yet. Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it. A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothus Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? Can't get hasty in a place like this. You use a kid as bait. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. She's starting to get annoyed. Rest in peace, Queen Anne. That was for the brushers. Kid's done what needed to be done. Queen Anne's reign is over. We even got a crown jewel. All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. Know how Caelondia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices. The Army's triggers once had the place on lockdown, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. The grand rail's all grown over with things the Calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Kid don't let so much as one of those things slip by. Of course, the Grand Rails seen much more fighting in bygone times. It was right here that Zulf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Caelondian War. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. That was bad. It's still got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While choking on swamp weed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. But then, at last, it's the end of the line. Should have seen him tiptoe around those swamp weeds in his way. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. Not much wiggle room up there near the rail. Turns out he's wrong. This is for you, says the man. Then wham! When the kid comes to, the man's long gone, but something else is there. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron. Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here, but we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. After all, when we look down inside Colford Cauldron, look down through all the smoke and flames, we had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog. And where there's one stink eye, there's always more. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron. He comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve. Can't rightly call Mount Zand a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down, quick and clean. Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our bastion is everybody's gain. Not just ours. We just really need their shard. He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll all be better off once the bastion is complete. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances. Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Caelondia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes a burstone quarry. We bought the whole place from the Ura on the cheap. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things. They're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. Now, why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? Might be the gods told them the quarry's bad news. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen, the largest ones, you know as cores. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone. That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive things stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. "Are you all right?" it says. Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred. "If that's the way it is," he says, "then I won't stop you, because my countrymen will." Say what you will about Zulf, but he's a man of his word. His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though. They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kid's gotta go in through the back. I should have told him sooner about all this. Zulf showed him the way here, and here they came to take revenge. The Ura think they got him. They're wrong. Unfortunately, they broke in, and they started digging their holes. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away at this place. I couldn't stop them alone. I ain't a kid no more. After that, the Ura, they left. They done what they aimed to do. Zulf's plan worked. We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back. For the calamity. It was Caelondia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zulf knew the whole story. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way. One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand. At the heart of the calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. Most of our efforts didn't bear fruit. Then there was a breakthrough, but it didn't come from one of our people. It came from an Ura, a brilliant young scientist named Ven. Ven worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer. With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnels shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tassel terminals will be gone. But Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. He sabotaged the Mancer's little science project, set it to blow up in their faces. But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard. Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. For now, Kid had little choice but to pick up where the calamity left off. First things first, though, there's someone we figured needed rescuing. Zia. The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move. But we knew ours already. There's something we had to do before going after that last shard. Well, now it's personal, ain't it? It's personal for him, and it's personal for me. They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. Well, the Ura must be in a panic right about now. They even sick their little rattletail pets on the kid. By now, every Ura from here to the terminals must know he's in town. The Ura keep hanging on to their barricade. After all, their homeland's not much farther. Maybe they know they've lost this. Lost to a kid. Yes, our people caused the calamity, but here we are trying to fix it. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns. You had to see if everything Zolf wrote to you was true. Once the kid gets that last shard from Zolf, it'll all be over. I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away. But he'll be alright. The calamity hit the Tazil terminals hardest of all. You know why Zolf went back there. Zolf must be there all alone, just waiting. All his old friends and family were there. You know what's funny? Look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right? When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. Problem is, we'll all be gone. Oh, we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop. Things will go back to the way they used to be. This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity.
Hi guys, do we have audio now?
Think of all those times that didn't go your way. You follow me? No mistakes.
Oh, one more time.
Anyone you've ever
Not
hurt.
enough. Oh no, that's perfect.
Everything you've ever done, you could do it over. And wouldn't that be grand?
Alright guys, come on.
There's nothing more to say.
I just need this guy not to kill me.
Come on.
Bad.
Who am I kidding? Look. There's something else.
It's alright, I actually failed this section a lot
confession.
on my PB. For no good reason,
How
given
come I
how
know so
easy it
much
is.
about the Bastion? Well, I designed the place. But that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it.
So yeah,
you're
I
probably
think
wondering
what happened with
if
the
the
mic
calamity
is somehow
happened
my
What's to stop it
OBS
from happening
mute
again
keybind got hit
after
at
the
some point.
Bastion does its thing? The answer
And I didn't
is-
notice because I don't normally look for that. Normally I check the mic button on my headset. So that was the most like tense thing I've ever had to do in a speedrun. Navigating
Wonder if
in the
there's some other
dark.
way out of this mess. It's all right. I can tell. But why would
Right
you
after
walk another
getting
way?
a split that could put me at world
Unless-
record pace.
Unless you wanted to stay here with us. The weight of the calamity. It's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go.
Get out. Out.
Bastion does have another function. Strictly speaking, if ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Of course, that would mean no going
But yeah, get hype, guys, because this is actually pretty good pace, isn't
But
it?
then again, next, we detonate the cores
And I literally don't understand why.
away from here. That way, all of us. You know, Zolf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you? Zolf and the Ura, all they want now is to see the Bastion fall. He can't have imagined the city would try to wipe the Ura out. Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kid. For Zolf, this ain't a personal matter. It ain't a simple matter of pride, either. One thing's for sure, the Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way
Alright.
home. Kid saves Zolf
Alright,
once,
guys.
but I don't think he'd make the same mistake.
Come on.
I wouldn't. Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright.
I know I lost some
You ain't
time in
still
Tesla
thinking about
terminals,
that
but I
whole
don't know how
evil city
much.
thing, are ya?
I don't think it was that bad. But it's tough to say. Come on, melee guys, there we go. No, die. Irritating. Alright, that's fine. Good. Alright.
Kid's probably dealt with Zolf by now. It reminds me of myself when I was his age.
Oh my god, guys.
Tell you about those days.
Alright, spam click time, guys. Oh my god. This is it. Like, right here, this is it.
Hey, kid. Get up, kid.
There's literally
Come
one
on,
thing
ain't
that I can
funny.
do to ruin this right now.
I say get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there.
Come
Then
on.
we'll talk. The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now,
Oh my god.
there's something I want you to see.
Oh my god, guys.
Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal.
On.
Zia and I figured
go.
you'd done the
Let
heavy
me go.
lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions. Hey, kid.
Yes! Oh my god.
It's finished. Now, sit tight. It'll be over soon.
49:01. I cut the lawyer dog by 10 seconds. Oh my god.
what
It's
happens
about
next.
time.
You're done good.
All four,
suppose
guys.
all
I
that's
got all
left
four of them. Oh my
Just to try
god.
and remember this moment. Bastion's gonna take us back to a better time. Before any of this.
Dude, look at the salty run back from Rothus Lagoon onwards. Like, the start of my run was just so much salt, and I just freaking nailed it in the entire second half of the run. Oh my god.
So long, kid. Maybe I'll see it in the next one. Ceylondia, we're coming home.
Oh. Yes, that feels so freaking good. Oh my god. Oh, thanks everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Really, I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I love you. I cannot believe that I got the black screen glitch after Zoltan's Hollow and didn't. Like, I got spot on aim at the Skyway. I can't believe that. The last time I tried to do that, I fell right off the side and I had to correct. And it burned like 2.5 seconds or whatever, but I just nailed it. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, that black screen hype though, dude. Like, that is clutch. Let's be real, that's freaking clutch right there. Is that barely ahead of the world record. Like, I was 42 seconds off, so that was a 9-second gap. And I managed to do that to not screw myself. And I always think of myself as being kind of anti-clutch, too. I'm like the antithesis of clutch, but that was pretty much amazing. Okay, now let's be real here, though. So let's real talk about this record, right? So, Lawyer Dog's time was extremely optimized. I mean, he got a sick run, and I highly recommend that you guys still go back and watch his run, because 49:11 was an amazing time. But the fact that I got 49 does not mean that, or 49:01 does not mean that his run wasn't as good as mine. The fact of the matter is, I fell more times by far. In fact, I think his run might have even been fallless. I'm not even sure. Which, if it was, like, that just blows my mind. What helped a lot in this run is we have new tech in the text skips on the Skyway, and we've got new glitches and new strats and stuff. Like, for example, the pipe glitch. So, there's a lot of new stuff. I only beat his record by 10 seconds, so that's not anywhere near as good as we can do. It's not anywhere near as good as I can do. We can easily get sub 49, sub 48:30 should be possible as well. We should be pressing sub 48, to be honest. But man, it's so nice to get a run of this category that's this good. Even this good. This is the hypest I've felt in a while. This is more hype than I felt for the New Game Any Percent run on Friday, or the New Game Plus, or any of the other runs. This is just the hypest of hype. Even for only beating it by 10 seconds. And the best part is there's like a metric ton of improvement. Like, I can save at least 18 seconds at the beginning of the run, because I was minus 1 second after, I think, Joss and Bog, when I should have been minus 18. So I can save 17 more seconds just by not screwing that up. Like, that was because my level up was mistimed after Joss and Bog. In fact, the level up cost me time in Rotha's Lagoon too, so I could have saved like 19 additional seconds by not screwing that up. Oh my god. This category has a mile to go, guys. I'm so excited. Alright, we've got to figure out someone to raid. And we've got to figure out a raid message. I need you guys to help me figure out a raid message, okay? And I'm gonna find a raid target. This is really important. You guys gotta help me here.